This is Urizen at Orlando Nerd Fest on August 10th, 2014, Sunday. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, good. How you doing?
Cool. Tell me your names.
Thomas Drennan, do vocals and guitar for Urizen, and build a lot of the props and write a lot of music.
Okay, cool.
My name's Rustin Luther. I'm the bass player for Urizen.
And I'm Julio Escamilla. I play drums.
Okay, cool. And tell me, when did Urizen? How'd you guys start Urizen?
Well, we basically been around since like 2001 in some form. Me and Julio and my brother Daniel kind of started the band a long time ago, obviously, and really it's sort of evolved into something different, pretty much completely different than what it began as. So from then, like, we released our first album in 2005, and then for, I'd say a good, 8-10 years, we were more of a progressive metal band playing in the metal scene, and we slowly started to add theatrics and things which we've always wanted to do, and the kind of chiptune Nintendo element started to creep its way in also, and just circumstantially, I had listened to some chiptune music, like Vert and Null Sleep and stuff like that, but I didn't know there was a nerd scene, at the time, and circumstantially we kind of found our way towards the scene, and it, it kind of changed like sort of a band we are. So when people ask me that question, that's the roundabout way of getting to the point. I say, we've started in 2001. Our first album in 2005, but this version of the band kind of fully realized with theatrics and the sound we have now. I'd say we've been doing this for about 5-6 years.
Okay, and you said that you weren't into the 8-bit until later. So what were some of your band influences to start the band?
Well, I had not heard of like original chiptune until later, and there was always an influence from old video games. I think as with a lot of people, really influenced by a lot of Capcom's music, a lot of Konami's music from the old NES era, and a lot of that ended up in our music, even as when we were a metal band. But as far as other bands that influenced a lot musically, Metallica was one of my first big bands, but a lot of the stuff later, Dimmu Borgir, Rammstein. I assume we're going to go around the horn, but for me, Rammstein, Typo Negative, Devo. I love Guar's music, and obviously was very inspired by their show, White Zombie. I mean, I pretty much take from
This can
anything.
go on.
Yeah, and I like a lot of movie soundtrack stuff, a lot of orchestral stuff too. So.
Cool.
What about you?
I come from a different kind of background. I was very much raised on the term is called new metal scene. That's like a lot of the way how I play personally on stage, and how I've always played, live wise and guitar wise, bass wise, is groups like Limp Bizkit, Korn, Cold Chamber, Soulfly, all these kind of acts that kind of came up, and certain members of the bands like Les Boyle and stuff like that. I always picked up on them and kind of helped develop me for who I am, and I've always attached to that scene. I still to this day listen to the albums waiting from 98, 99 to 2003, 2004. Those albums, that's my heyday, and I love them all.
Cool. Okay.
Me, I'm more of a European metal type of person. I listen to Emperor, Dimmu Borgir. Like Winter Sun is my favorite band. Obviously, I think I wore this twice in a row now, 2 days in a row. But it's just anything European, like neoclassical metal, anything like that, like Children of Bodom, old Children of Bodom, the new stuff kind of.
Okay.
But it's good. It's still good. It's good. Yeah, that kind of stuff, man.
Okay. Yeah, no. I read that you guys toured with Turisas or played with Turisas?
Fluid Teresa's, yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Is
guys
that-
are amazing.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
that
like
yeah?
back in when they were kicking, there's a lot of bands did a lot of the Pagan Fest,
Sonata Arctica,
Arctica, Teresa, stuff like that. So
Hello 18.
Yeah.
Well, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. It's
I was just bringing that up because I had read that and he was saying what he's into, so I was like wondering if was this a tour that maybe you wanted to get onto because
Oh
of
man, at that time it would have been a perfect tour for us because we were like more metal at that stage. And but yeah, like pretty much right after that, we started going into like this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like that. Then when we played that tour, it was just one show that we played
okay,
in Fort Worth, Texas. It was.
okay,
But yeah, that's like that would have been perfect at the time. And nowadays it would have probably been a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was amazing at the time, and like, we had so much fun.
that's cool. Yeah, Teresa's one of my favorite bands. So
Yeah,
when I saw that,
nice.
I thought that was cool.
Fields of Gold.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. You know, they were nice enough to stay and watch our set when we played with them, and we've gotten a chance to speak with Matthias a bunch about it. He liked what we did, and so a lot of, I think, respect both ways. I hope.
Yeah.
We love them. I mean, I love their music, and I love orchestral stuff, dramatic stuff, and we have a lot of that in ours. And so yeah, Teresa's great, LOAT is great, and we've had some of our best shows were those old Pagan Fests before we started doing the conventions and stuff like that. So
Pagan Fests were a lot of fun.
yeah, really good.
Okay. Now, you guys started off as a metal band, got into threw little chip tunes in there. And you said you're very orchestral. You're into all that stuff.
Yeah,
Now,
right.
when did the theatrics come in? When did the stage presence come in?
Well, that's interesting. The theatrics have always been intended to be there. The first band I had in high school, me and my brother, it was a black metal band, but we were very theatrical. We built a coffin. We did like a fake surgery on stage. We built a 12-foot tall working guillotine. It was awesome. It was amazing. It was based around a magic trick, but we could cut a watermelon in half with it legitimately, and then cut someone's head off. We had a
Right.
latex head and all that.
We went through a lot of friends at that point.
But it was always intended to be that way. But when we did that in high school, I felt like I feel like we didn't take enough time on the music, and we didn't take enough time on the theatrics. So everything was sort of mediocre at the time. So when we started the band with a different name, Urizen, and we started playing shows, we focused on the music first and got used to playing live shows. Wrote enough material for ourselves, and then we started introducing things slowly. Like back when we were still in the metal scene, one of the first effects we made was a big robot made out of an old air conditioner, and it had these big long. It was not good looking, basically, but it was real boxy with a small head, and you control its arms like this, and we would fight the robot on stage and kill it. Actually, it was before then. It was our enemy. We'd have Santa Claus fight it for Christmas shows, and Cupid fight it for Valentine's. But so that was our first stage effect, and then around the same time we played our first convention, which was a convention called Allcon in Dallas, and it was an été-opening experience. We're like, this is amazing. We love doing this, but our robot is the worst looking thing here because everyone's got so many cosplayers and so many people making these amazing costumes. We're like, we've got to step up our game. So we retired that robot, built a better one, and went from there and started adding more and more stuff over the years. And I'd say that was when? 2006, 7? Well, it was a little later than that. I think it was because we did Dragon Con in 2010, and that was right when we first had all the new stuff. That was
Let's just say 2008.
something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay. Now, on stage, you guys are in character. So, what are your character names, and what do they represent, or what do they do?
Well, I think that is something that is a little bit different about us. We all go by our regular names, and I would say that our characters are us, and that more than us playing characters, it's more like we have things happening to us.
Okay.
And had an interesting conversation last night, or it was this morning actually, with Danimal Cannon. I'm sure everyone out there knows Danimal. But he was saying, because we were all playing video games last night, he beat the speeder run level in Battletoads, and we were all just like, going nuts for it. And he was saying that our show kind of reminded him of that feeling, of that kind of shared group experience of, watching people play video games. And I would say that's a good way to put it, is that the way our show is now, and of course we're going to have different things in the future, but this particular show, it's like, the best way to put it is that we're just going up there to play a show, and things keep happening to us that we have to overcome.
Okay.
So it's like we're getting accosted by Dr. Fritz, we're getting accosted by a monster, we're getting accosted by a mech, and we're just trying to make it through a show.
We can never have just a regular show. We just cannot find a regular show. We always have people invading the stage.
It's come to the point where now we have to wear body armor to protect ourselves. We tell you people, we started off like this. We're regular Joes, and these people and monsters and scientists just keep bothering us. They just won't leave us alone. So now we have to dress up every night, wear armor and knee pads. I got bad legs now. We just want to play shows. We just want to play music.
So now, tell me about how many enemies do you guys have?
In a way, it's kind of, if anyone's familiar with Guar, it's kind of similar to Guar. We have kind of a rotating cast of characters, so we have more than will appear on stage at a given time. Right now, with our current show, a lot of it is centered around Dr. Fritz. It's kind of the Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Wily kind of a character that comes, and he tries various schemes. So he's one enemy, but he comes out with different attacks. But we have a couple of things that we haven't used for a while that probably in the future we'll bring it back out and kind of rotate it around. So if you want to put it as far as individual effects, I'd say total effects around like 10, 12, something like that. Okay. And then we'll use, depending on the show, depending on the tour, we'll strategize that way as to which ones will actually appear in the show.
Okay.
We always try to add something different per show. If we can get away with it, we'll get away. We're real big on community, with not just with the fans and the people, but with the other bands and artists who play these events. So a lot of times you'll see us or random people come on our stage that are in other acts and stuff, because we really love incorporating other people into the shows. Just, like I said, they're helping us not get our butt kicked.
Yeah, helping us fight off whatever's attacking us.
A lot of good guys, a lot of good musicians around here help out. When we bring them on there, and they help us out just as much as anything else.
Okay, cool. Now, the robot you were talking about, I have seen videos where you're getting attacked by a giant robot. Would that be the robot that you are?
You may have been seeing the mech. Was it piloted by
Old man?
An old man?
Yeah, we have a robot and we have a mech.
Yeah.
There's a couple different robots.
I don't remember, but I know it was bigger than you guys.
They both are. If you saw the old robot, it would have looked crappy and it would have been attacking us. If you saw the new robot, he is on our side and he helps us.
Okay.
We get attacked by a giant blob creature, and the robot comes to help, finish the job.
Yes.
But then we do get attacked by a giant mech robot piloted by none other than Dr. Fritz. So.
Okay. Now, I keep hearing about the Boxmen.
Yeah.
Who are the Boxmen?
Boxmen it's kind of become a weird thing. It was based on there's a book called The Boxman by Kobo Abe. He's an amazing Japanese author, probably my favorite author. And I wrote a song called Boxmen, and it's not about the book. It's more about kind of what I got out of the book. And the Boxmen, in a way, in some senses, is a commentary on like the internet, or how people have become a little bit disconnected from their lives. By way of like convenience or something, and so there's the kind of the byline like we're all Boxmen. It's sort of unavoidable at this point, but the spirit of the thing is not that being a Boxman is a bad or good thing, but it's just taking the effort to And this is a perfect example of conventions like this, to get out, with your friends and see people in real life, and just make a point of spending your time, inside and outside of the box. So
Okay.
that's what a box man is.
Okay. Cool. Now, tell me about where did the name of the band come from, Urizen? Now, I know as a comic book fan, there's a character in Spawn called Urizen, but there's also Urizen from William Blake.
William Blake is where the name came from for us. When I was going to school, in art school in Kansas City, one of my projects was to do study on an artist and base some of my artwork around their stuff, and I chose William Blake. That's where I got into the name Urizen. But that said, I used to read a lot of Spawn comics, and when I found out that there was a character in Spawn also named Urizen, that was sort of just like a bonus for me. So
Okay.
that's where the name came from. Yeah,
Cool.
William Blake.
All right. And before you guys were in Urizen, you said you were in another band. But were you?
Yes.
Or what would you guys do before Urizen?
Well, me, like I said, I come from a very much rock, hardcore metal background, playing guitars and stuff, and that's actually how I got hooked up with these guys. I was in a local band that would play shows with these guys, and we actually did a show together. And for whatever reason, we themed the show around wrestling, and we cut these extremely ridiculous wrestling promos. Years at a time before I was in the band, was calling my band out, old school wrestling style, and it was brilliant. So I had never done anything like this, so I called them up. I was like, can we do this? What can we do? So shot up to their house, and we cut our own wrestling promos that were just atrocious, but it was fun as hell.
Yeah.
And there was another band that's, we're from Texas, and this band's from deep East Texas, and they are very much...
Right here.
Yes, these guys right here. Johnny Pecker and the Beaver Bustin' Pickle Weasels. They were another band, and they did the wrestling promos. Anyways, we did this whole bit, and the show was great. The whole show was themed around wrestling, and I had so much fun at the time interacting with these guys. With that, just doing that, I was like, man, this is cool. I really enjoy this, and I've always been a fan of these guys beforehand, working with them. And so when they went through a personnel change, I threw my name in the hat, and at first, I think it wasn't accepted. And then after talking, we finally.
Well, because at first we were going to try to have you play guitar.
Well, it was like guitar. Then it was like we can play guitar, bass, and then I made the suggestion of just going to bass. 'Cause I'm normally a guitar player, but in this band, I felt that I could play bass and get away with more on-stage movement and antics, and it all worked out, and I've been with these dudes ever since. So I'm gonna quit next week. They just don't know yet.
Right. but you also had an industrial band too, right? That was
Yes.
pretty theatric. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Now you're bringing up old stuff. So I was, when I was a young pup in high school, I was in a very much industrial shock rock band, like to the T industrial, Vile, Skinny Puppy, Manson, all that kind of stuff. We had shock rock, we had like big metal welded cages and stuff, and a bunch of makeup and stuff. It was really fun. We got to do that one. We had side characters and all this other stuff. But yeah, that's where I got the original background to do that, and then I developed from there. So it was always fun doing that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Me, I didn't have any real bands until this one. I would play with my cousin, and we'd just jam around in the garage, but we never actually did any shows until we have to start playing with these guys. But right now I'm in two bands, and it's busy, but yeah, this one's it's doing so good right now. We got to keep the ball rolling.
Cool. All right, so let's get a couple more questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you guys do when you're not playing out as Urizen?
Me, I just work. I work a day job.
Okay.
Try and pay all the bills.
Any hobbies, video games?
Oh yeah.
comic books?
I'm a PC gamer.
Okay.
PC Master Race for me. That's just the way I am. I don't know.
Cool.
I like consoles, but PC is just my thing.
Okay.
I actually work in the music industry. I own 2 music venues in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Wow.
So if you ever come through, check out Tomcats West.
Okay.
And then right across the street, another club, larger room called the Rail Club.
Okay.
So I constantly work with bands, work with musicians, and now I have the golden opportunity of trying to bring a lot of the more nerdcore acts through my clubs and through our Dallas scene, because the Dallas scene is bumping and it's one of the best in the U.S. I'll stand by it. And we will, it's really awesome working with bands. And I got my family, I got my old lady, bunch of damn kids, and I got too many of them. So if anybody would like to adopt a child.
All right.
Me, lots of media, Netflix, video games. I've always been the opposite. I'm a console gamer. I'd say a half Nintendo fanboy and half indie game fanboy. So I pretty much spend half my time playing 3DS or old school NES, Super Nintendo, and then about half my time on Steam looking for the next most interesting kind of indie games. Those are my kind of thing. So do that. A big baseball fan. Go to Rangers games a lot. Huge wrestling fan. We go to as many of the live events as possible, and obviously subscribe to the network immediately. So, yeah, I think that's me. Wrestling, baseball, video games, books.
Yeah, books. Yeah. Any of you PC gamers out there, hit me up on Firefall and Smite. That's all I play all day long.
And speaking of Steam, since you're on Steam and you're looking for games, you should look for Dino Horde.
It's called what now?
Dino Horde.
Dino Horde.
Picture Dino Horde.
Horde.
Oh. Imagine
I'm thinking something else.
Halo, but with dinosaurs, with machine guns and jetpacks.
All right then.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I will.
And I think it's $3, and it's awesome.
Oh, nice. Even better. Those price tags, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
So, guys, any last words?
I just make a quick mention, since we're on the topic of video games, and we're kind of announcing it here at Nerdfest. We're doing a collaboration with the group Heroic Stand. They make video games. They're just about to release their first Apple. They're going to do all the games. First mobile game called Temple Tap. I think it's 2 weeks from being launched.
Extremely fun.
Really fun game. But we've been working on a dual project with them. We're working on the concept. It'll be kind of based around like a futuristic version of our universe, the Boxman, and some of our stage effects and some new things, and we'll be doing the music for it. No release date yet, but go over to Heroic Stand, go to their Facebook, go to their website, and you'll be able to keep tabs on it as it develops. We're going to get, because they're just about to finish with Temple Tap, and we're going to start hitting it hard at the end of this year. So
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming up, planned up. We're gonna get across the U.S., spread the word. Just keep on our Facebook, keep on our website, urizenonline.com, Facebook/urizenonline. We got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. We got the games. We're working on our new album. No release date yet, but it is coming, and we're working on it. We're really stoked to do that. Steadily putting in new music into our new set, constantly changing set, just to keep everybody fresh. So every time we do come through, everybody has a new experience, and entertainment value is at its peak. But yeah, just keep an eye on everything we got coming up. It's going to be fun. We got some really cool stuff coming up.
Also, thank you so much to the people who helped fund us. We just lost the van, completely lost it, and everybody helped raise enough money for us to rent a van to finish the tour.
Wow.
So I mean, it was like within 6 hours we hit our goal. 6 hours.
Awesome.
We hit a goal, and thank you so much to everybody. If you supported, thank you so much. And
even if you couldn't, even if you didn't get a chance to,
yes.
We understand bills are tight. Times are tough. The fact that you come, you support us, you follow us on Facebook. We appreciate everybody. We love everything, anything we do.
Matt and Amanda.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The Sinus Erdrich and Mateo, Big Matt, he's always around the cons and everything. They came and bailed our butts out. We were broke down on the side of the road, and they were kind enough to come get us and our trailer and gear, so we couldn't play Orlando Nerd Fest this year. Yeah, the support is overwhelming. We love it. We love all the bands, love all the fans, love all the the gamers, the nerds, the geeks. Y'all are family to us, and we'll be there just as much y'all as y'all are for us, all the way around.
And also, we have an amazing album. I can say amazing because he wrote most of it. This guy, he's writing some ridiculous stuff for the next album.
I'm not going to say no because that's not going to be good for our byline, but
I think it's going to be good.
It's going to be fucking great.
And
I don't know if I can cuss or anything.
Yeah,
it's going to be really good, and I'm super stoked for it. We are all super stoked for it.
Just keep track of the next album. I promise you, it's going to be extremely enjoyable.
It's well worth the wait. It's been a bit of a time, but the product is just above and beyond of anything we imagined could do in this band. So it's really good, and we're very excited to get that out to everybody and have the show on top of the music to go along with it. So constantly cranking on the gears to give everybody out there the best that we can do.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that is the end of the interview.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being a part of it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
For Geek Scene.
That's us.